and welcome to the Enchantress Society with Tia Johnson, a place where you get to be you, where you get to unlock your magic in a sacred and judgment-free zone. The Enchantress Society is your witchy sisterhood of enchanting women who guides and supports you along your spiritual journey from the mundane to the magical. I invite you to sit for a spell as I interview guests and spill the spiritual tea on how we can create the magical life we deserve. Hello, Enchantress, and welcome to another episode. I hope that you are having a lovely day. And if you're not, I hope that you are giving yourself the space and grace to process what you are feeling, what you are going through, especially with it being Mercury retrograde and eclipse season. This is a great time to slow down. All right, that's a huge portion of what Mercury retrograde is about, slowing down. Okay, I was just called to say that. All right, so we gotta laugh it off sometimes. We gotta brush it off. We gotta just get a change of scenery and all that jazz. So give yourself the space and grace. And if you're having a lovely day, may it continue. All right, I am super excited for this episode. This is a guest who I wanted on the show for about a year now, as you will see. And if you have been following me on Instagram, you have seen me talk about her products and my reels and posts. So I'm so thrilled to have her come on the show and share her story and really just provide some insights on living that rich witch life. So, Lotus. Honey is an educator, healer, and a seasoned natural witch. She is led by spirit to accept the charge and responsibility of High Priestess of the Sacred Coven. What is most important to Honey is that she assists others, her clients and students, in activating their personal powers and that they create the lives that they truly desire. Honey works as a professional development, relationship wellness, and manifestation coach and runs a metaphysical church nonprofit along with her partners. Honey has a formal education in alternative health and has been educated and initiated by the elders and the ancestors. Honey has over the years worked with thousands of people, helping them access their inner magic and teaching them how to heal themselves from harmful programming, past trauma, poverty, lack, and scarcity, as well as physical dis-ease and even the incurable. Honey is passionate about living a full and abundant life and helping others to do the same. Honey, welcome. Hello, Honey. I am so thrilled to have you here. And I do have a confession to make. I was so nervous to ask you to come on the show.
Really? Why?
Yeah. I wanted to ask you to come on last year. You were just like killing it in your business. You were super busy. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm not going to bother her right now. I'll circle back.
Oh, wow. Thank you. I mean, I'll be honest. I'm always nervous about these things. So you did catch me at the right time because I'd be like, I don't know. So everything is in perfect alignment.
Yes. And, when I first came across your content, I was just like, man, this woman is amazing. And now I really cannot stop raving about your sprays and your oils and everything that you do. So how did the Honeyjar come to be?
Oh, wow. Well, okay.
Loaded question.
Long story short, I had recently moved back to Atlanta from Florida. And the reason why I moved back to Atlanta is that I really was missing being a part of community, specifically spiritual community. And I wanted to be like more connected with my people, because prior to living in Florida, I mean, my husband and I, well, my husband was in the military, so we traveled a lot, but I had lived in Atlanta in the early 2000s to late 2000s, like almost 10 years prior to coming back to Atlanta. So at the time, my main business was a business called Our Healing Village, and that is our nonprofit. And our nonprofit was really focusing on healing the family, because I had learned that, like, when a person like myself, I had come through a depression. I learned that if somebody is in your family is depressed, then maybe more people in your family would be depressed. So I wanted to, our family was approaching our healing as a family. So we would do yoga, meditation together, painting, all type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I was doing that, and I wanted to bring Our Healing Village. Well, I had brought Our Healing Village to Atlanta, and the Honeyjar, and I also had a separate group called the Eclectic Coven, and it was really also a bad time for me financially. And I had met a sister, and she was like, I was looking for a place to do yoga, because I wanted to offer curvy body yoga, because a lot of people that are of size are intimidated by yoga because of, it's complicated.
Mm-hmm.
And I have found it was really healing for me, even being a person of size. So I wanted to offer that. And I was looking for a space to rent to do the yoga. And I met this lady, and she was like, oh, she had spaces to rent. And she was like, well, yeah, you can rent my space, but I'm having an event. Would you come to the event and vend? And I was like, yeah, I'll come to your event and vend. But the thing about it, the event wasn't family friendly. Mm-hmm. So I ended up creating something that was, I like the Eclectic Coven, but I felt like it was really hard for people to say. And maybe they couldn't maybe not understand exactly what it is. And Our Healing Village was mostly centered around the family, and they couldn't come because it was an adult. It literally was an adult event, and they had adult things going on there. Mm-hmm. And so I said, well, what can we call it? And I was like, we call it the Honeyjar. And that was the thing. I had recently started going by the moniker Honey. And, honey jars are in lots of different practices. And it's one of my specialties. So that's how the Honeyjar started. I was like, let me do this. So I bought all these flyers. I bought all these things, because I was expecting to vend and do readings, etc. I didn't end up doing that event, but from that whole time, something even greater happened, and that was I created one of my signature oils called Rich Witch, and that took off from there. I talk a lot.
No. Please do. No, this is for the guests to share their story and side notes and things like that. And trust me, there are times where I feel like I talk too much, then I end the recording and I see it's only been 40 minutes. I'm like, really? Like that? I'm thinking it's an hour 30. I think I'm in. But no, it's all really good to hear too, honey, because what I was hearing was stepping stones, just doing that one more thing, one more thing. And do you, from time to time, look back and think, wow, at that point in time, I didn't think I would be here, or I thought I would be here, but then X, Y, Z happened after that.
Oh, girl, let me tell you, it was a whole bunch of stuff that happened. Yes, I feel like that all the time. To the point where now, I just wake up and be like, what I'm supposed to do today? Because just so I can get it right. Things change. Right. I asked me, I was like, what am I supposed to do today? Because so things change so much. So at the time, prior to doing Our Healing Village and prior to doing the Honeyjar, I had a different business called Fit to Be Goddess. And Fit to Be Goddess was really popular from 2009, 2010 up until 2017 when I dissolved the business. And one of that business was focusing on having the tools, like basically equipped to become a goddess. And one of that things, a part of that business was kind of like, I don't want to say capturing my journey to health and wellness. And it started off as a blog. And similar to the Honeyjar, but not as big as the Honeyjar, it immediately took off. So it started from me sharing my story and my journey. Then I had all of these clients all of a sudden. And honestly, I had two small children at the time. My husband was in the military. I was a full-time student. So much stuff was going on and I couldn't manage. And that's what like really led into my depression. But prior to that, like in that business, I was coaching people and I was helping people transform their lives, similar to what I do now. And what was happening though is everybody I was helping was making money, but me.
Oh,
like
no.
literally, I mean, people went from 0 to 6 figures in a year or 5 figures in a month. And I wasn't making that kind of money. I wasn't really even charging for my services half the time. I was just trying to help people, as many people as I could. And I was like, this has to stop. So because of that, and, you know, life is expensive, my finances were just like all over the place, often. And I mean, I was fortunate, like, you know, to be a stay-at-home mom. I was fortunate to have, you know, I was in school, I had to stay-at-home mom thing, all this stuff going on. And I was like, I really have to do something different because I'm tired of, you know, that statement saying robbing Peter to pay Paul. Pardon me. I was tired of calling up and being like, okay, so I can pay my gas, but I can't pay my electric, or I can't, you know, this whole thing. And I knew that I deserved better than that. Not only that, I saw people do better than that I was helping.
Right.
So it was really me needing to work on my self-worth and also being a practitioner, or I don't know what you want to call it, but feeling like my gift was for the world and not for me. Maybe I was definitely dealing with worthiness a lot, and my root chakra was fried, and it was time for me to really reinvent myself. So I decided to go on a cleanse, or a fast, if you will. It was a water fast for the purpose of like spiritual fortitude. And it's one of those things that I've had throughout my life that I can always like go on a fast, and that kind of like get me together and refocus me. So during this fast, it was very clear to me that that's what I was dealing with. I needed to work on my root chakra. I needed to work on my self-worth. I needed to work on healing and being in alignment. And like I was doing the water fast, and like halfway through the fast or so, I received this message to make this oil. And so I got the message, spiritual message, and I started to make the oil. And after the first couple of days, I received like 2 checks in the mail, like a $700 check from like my old electric company. And it was something else. It was like $500 rebate because I had recently bought a car, something like that. And I was like, wow, it's working already.
Yes.
And so I'm mixing the oil, and I was like really led to, like, Spirit told me to call it Rich Rich. And I was like, I don't know if I should do that because I don't think that's like professional. I don't know if it's gonna reach a wide enough audience. I have all these excuses, right? I was like, no, I don't think it's gonna work. I shouldn't call it that. And it was like really clear that was what it was supposed to be called. And I did. I called it Rich Rich, and I put it on Facebook. And like within the first 5 minutes, somebody messaged me and was like, can I get that oil? And I was like, yeah. And the lady was in Hawaii. She was like, well, you shipped to Hawaii? And I was like, yeah. And I put it in, and I shipped it to her. And then with the oil in the mail, she got like a check from her bank, something like that. $100 check or something like that. And then the whole, like maybe 10 or 20 that I made, they were sold out within a half an hour of me putting it on Facebook and just like, let me get that Cash App. I was like, okay, wow. So I was like, might be something.
Mm-hmm.
So,
oh, it's something. It's something.
So I made some more. And the same thing happened with the next batch. And then, like, the next batch or something to that effect. And then I was getting my tax return money back. And I was like, yes, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to invest in this business. I'm going to get candles, and I'm going to get, not candles, but things to make candles and wax and oils. I'm going to, like, make this mainstream or put it out to the public, something like that. And as soon as I did that, I said, okay, we're going to have an open house here in Atlanta. Everybody's going to come through. We're going to explain how stuff works. It's going to be a party. I'm going to do some readings, have some wine, and everything like that. And then the weekend before that was supposed to happen, the whole world shut down due to COVID.
Wow. Just like that.
I was like, oh no, this is ruined. And then, if you remember that time, it was so crazy. People was fighting over toilet paper in the grocery store, and they
like
couldn't
supermarket sweep.
I was like, you couldn't get water. And I remember looking on Amazon, and toilet paper, like some Scotch tissue, was like $90.
Yeah, crazy
on Amazon. So at that time, when all of this happened, I was like, I just had some thousands of dollars. I can't believe that I just spent all this money on all this stuff that I'm not going to be able to sell because of the pandemic.
Right. Oh my goodness.
I laugh at it now, but at the time I was like, I thought I was fried. I was like, what am I going to do?
Right.
I should have got water. I should have been responsible. I should have had we call it, like, stash for food for my kids. Like, what are you doing?
Right. Yes.
So my partner was like, look, you always make the right decisions. You know what to do. What would you tell your client if this happened to them? I was like, okay, you control your narrative, not what could happen. What do you want to happen? And I was like, well, you know what? They're going to love it. They're going to love everything that we created, and they're going to buy it, and it's going to help them, and it's going to be transformative, and it's going to be amazing. So I had to fix my thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we did an online, like, soft launch on the equinox of 2020. And it was like, okay, a couple orders. But within the next 3 months, we had made our first 6 figures in the company. Off of
beautiful
the oils and the candles and all those things I purchased. So, like, I never know what's going to happen. I mean, I kind of hope,
yes.
I'm intentional, but I had no idea. No idea.
And it's so crazy how that happens too. Because I was thinking back to as you were talking, it definitely felt like supermarket sweep. I remember looking at this older woman at the supermarket, like, Tia, what are you even doing? You're giving her the side eye over toilet paper.
It was terrible. It was so frightening, and nobody knew what it was and how it was good. And
exactly. God. And it was supposed to be gone by April, and a lot of people were forced to pivot and to understand, that workaround. And I love how you talked a lot about, being transformative and, like transmuting that energy, transforming the narrative in yourself, and working towards saying, like, hey, like, I want something different, and I'm going to go do that. And you went inward and focus on your self-worth and your root chakra. And so in your pet, and I'm definitely going to get to rich oil because that's a game changer. But in your practice, do you find that a lot of times when people say they want change, they talk so much about it, when they don't do it, that is deeply rooted in the root chakra?
Yes, absolutely. Because, well, I think sometimes people want change, but they're not necessarily sure how to get change. Mm-hmm. And that's why I always go to the root chakra, because one is our foundation, it's our grounding here on the planet. And it represents our security, our safety, our finances, but the most important thing it represents is our identity. And I think with the root chakra, when we give ourselves permission to create a new identity for ourselves, is when we can truly change. Because if we don't see ourselves different, or we don't make the conscious decision to do differently within ourselves, then it's really hard for us to change or do anything differently. So, so I definitely recommend, preach, promote, giving yourself permission when things are not specifically going the way that you would like them to go, to like give yourself permission to evaluate your identity, to take a look at who you are. Because a lot of the things for me, like I started my spiritual journey, I would say, when I was 17, 18 years old. I'm 41 now. And while there's a lot of things that I keep with me, there's also things that my 17, 18-year-old self, I did not give her permission to create all the decisions for my life, because she don't know what she was talking about all the
time.
Right. So it takes a lot sometimes to be like, especially when you've like, you know, like in your 40s and you've been doing stuff for so long and it's been this way for so long, it can be really challenging to do things different, and you have to do things different and be different to get different results. So create a new narrative for yourself. Like, there was one point in time where I felt like I was definitely a people pleaser, and I was a person that didn't really have strong boundaries, and I just wanted, you know, to be accommodating, and I didn't want to make people feel bad or uncomfortable because as an empath, I didn't know how to manage my feelings, and I didn't like people feeling uncomfortable around me because I would feel uncomfortable.
Right.
So I would try to accommodate them, sometimes even shrinking myself to try to make people feel comfortable because I didn't like the feeling of being uncomfortable. But I had to create a new narrative that I'm not a people pleaser. I'm a person that is assertive, a woman that knows who she wants, a person that's excellent in business, a person that can easily and often manifest, create, and attract resources. You know, like these whole thing, all of this stuff I had to reprogram and recreate about myself. So, like I said, starting with that root chakra, I would definitely suggest going within and really having a conversation like, okay, so yeah, that was something about you, but is that who you want to be? And you can change it anytime once you decide those things, I believe, at least.
Yeah, for sure. You even answered my other question I was going to ask about the deprogramming and the reprogramming process. And yeah, it's so powerful when you really tap into that and realize that abundance is there. Like, it is there for you to claim it, and you're not taking away from anyone else, but you have to first get, you know, right with yourself and understand that you, like, just as you were, you know, saying earlier, you're helping so many others make six figures. Like, wait a minute, I can help myself too.
Right. Yeah. And then, you know, because like, and that's a good point, because a lot of the times we have these old programs and these ideas that are not even ours. They were given to us, they were passed on to us from our parents or our family members or our church or our school or just media, you know what I'm saying? Like, or just being around. And like, so I think that goes back to like what I was saying about like redefining yourself, and to go back and say, do I feel like this about this? Where did I get this idea from? The idea that money doesn't grow on trees, and that if I don't do this, I'm gonna be broke, or like, who said this stuff? And then usually you can go back and be like, well, your grandmama said that, or that's what your auntie used to say, or whoever, or, you know. And then you can be like, okay, well, I don't choose that for myself, so you can have that back. You know?
Right. Return to sender. Thank you.
or even like just lightly, you know, give it back to the universe and let it dissolve into the ether. Like, these are not my ideas. So, but like sometimes we're such an amalgamation of our conditionings and our people and our culture and the society. So we don't really know. So that's why I also suggest, like, take your time, go check on yourself and be like, do I feel like this? Is this real for me? And if it is, you know, then you get to unpack. Well, what caused me to think like this? Well, and also remembering that just because something was a particular way once doesn't mean it has to be that way always. So we always
Mm-hmm.
have an opportunity to recreate, reconstruct, and rewrite our story. And I think that's really important. I mean, it's going to require you to do different actions for sure, because that's the only way you get different.
Mm-hmm.
But just to say like, oh, I haven't made $1 million yet, and that doesn't mean you're not going to make it next year or next week or next month. It's still plenty of opportunity out there to do whatever it is you want to do. But just because you don't have it yet doesn't mean that it's not yet coming or for you or, in the works.
Right. Absolutely. And so let's talk about Rich Witch. This is what I started with too when I first came across I think it was on Instagram. It was a Instagram live, and wow. So first of all, it smells good. Honeys, sprays, oils. I got to order more the Rich Witch soap. It smells good. They smell so good. It really puts you in the zone. And when I first started using Rich Witch, I noticed subtle changes at first. It was just a way of thinking, a way of moving, and then it just grew from there. And then my business expanded. And I started stepping out more than I ever had before. And
my God,
yeah. I'm telling you, it's just been. I'm in such a whole new place. Then I guess it's over a year now since I started using it, because I remember when you came out with the Millionaires. So yeah, I've been like following you for a while, and what a difference a year makes. So
oh my gosh, so much. Yeah, Millionaires is almost a year old. So Rich Witch is probably almost So that's like from last June, July. So Rich Witch came first. Man, it's so beautiful. It's so crazy because I'm like, I often ask my people, I don't like to call my followers, but my people, I was like, what do y'all want me to make? And then like another money oil. I'm like, again?
Well, I got Hot Witch Summer right here next to me.
Wow, that's amazing. I did not know that. I'm like so happy. Like usually my cheeks is like tight now. Okay, so that was the purpose, like exactly what you said. It's supposed to work on your mind first. It's supposed to help you release ideas of lack and scarcity and limits, right? And that inspire you to feel confident and spread your wings and share and grow your businesses if it's growing a business or it's getting ideas for businesses or expansion. And also that last little bit is about doing that all in luxury and feeling amazing and taking better care of yourself and like just really and giving yourself permission, to define what luxury is for you. Because we might not see luxury as the same things, but creating a luxurious lifestyle. So that was the intention behind Rich Witch. And also for money, cash, expected, unexpected, blessings, seen, unseen, favor, opportunity. So those are the intentions behind that oil. So I'm glad that that's working out for you.
Yes, it's so powerful. And I love that it is multi-layered, because if I say if I was 17 years old and I made $1 million, I would not have appreciated as much as I would if I made $1 million tomorrow. Right. Because yes, there are so many mindsets, but with this aid of the oils and everything else, now that $1 million can be 3, 4, 5, 10, going forward. And that's so important to have that framework as well.
Yeah, absolutely. This is definitely a magical time to be alive. And we have so much more access than we've had in a long time. And it's really like, I love when I'm online and I see you with your purple hair. And I just want you to trademark that or something. And I'm like, look at my friend. girl, go. Yes. What's the next class? Yes, let's go. So I get so happy and inspired when I see people doing that thing, living their best life. It makes me feel so good.
Yeah, it's like a spiritual family. We're just like, oh, look at her go. So
Yeah, because when I see you, I'm like, yes, girl, go. And it's like, and you can feel that love radiating, and it's just helping us all grow, you know? I love that for us.
absolutely. Oh yes, absolutely. Like I said, I talk about your products all the time, and
Oh.
even with your petitions, I just know like the trust is there, and that's huge too. When we are, growing a business and looking to connect with people, that trust factor, likability factor, and so like when you are, growing and you're looking to connect with people, do you have hard times coming across genuine people who are just like, I'm so happy for you and your business, and let's do this together?
Not. I used to. I think I used to. Not so much anymore, and that came from like really being intentional and also checking myself too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, am I really happy when I see somebody that's doing well? Making sure, right? Making
Mm-hmm.
sure I check my mirrors and making sure I check my shadows. And as long as I'm in that space and really also minding my own business,
I know that's right.
I'm like, yay, girl, go. And then you just attract it to yourself. Like you just attract the things that you want to see when you're doing it. And you got to, sometimes you can just do it, but you might not necessarily attract it because you didn't make it like, sometimes you got to make a conscious decision that this is what I'm creating. Not sometimes, all the time. Let me not even front, girl. Every time you have to decide, I'm creating these kind of relationships. I'm creating these kind of clients. I'm creating these kind of friendships. I'm creating these kind of lovers. Because why not be intentional with everything when you know that that's how things work? And if we don't do that, I feel like we're doing ourselves a disservice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. And a reason why I asked that question is because I know there are people who are looking to take that first step out there, and some people are along the way, and sometimes they have that friend from grade school, they have that cousin, that person, and now that they have a little bit of that growth, a little bit of change that's happening, sometimes they get that not so pleasant feedback, and it's like, okay, what do you do with that?
Oh yeah. Oh, that part. Oh yeah, we deal with that too. So here's the thing. Oh girl. And that's how I said. And it doesn't always feel good to you, and I'm gonna just be honest. And I'm like, okay, so here's the thing. We talk about creating a new life for ourselves, right? We talk about what it looks like holistically. And the truth of the matter often is that your new life is gonna cost you your old life.
Mm.
And what that means is your old friends probably ain't gonna be your friends no more. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's usually not malicious. Is I find that when you're working on a particular frequency, they can't come.
Yeah.
And it's not because they don't want to come, or that you don't want them there, or that they don't understand. It's like literally they're not moving on a frequency that you're moving on. So that part, I'm gonna tell you, it's not easy, right? It's hard at times, it's challenging, and it also hurts. And you kind of have to like mourn it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to like make a decision to be like, okay, I'm grateful for this person. I'm grateful for these moments in my lifetime that I've shared with them. And also, just because they're not there now, don't mean they won't be there later. Should you wait and see? I wouldn't suggest. I would say go on to the thing that we talked about a minute ago, creating and intentionally asking for the people that's going to help you grow and go to the next level. That doesn't mean like completely diss your family or not talk to them, nothing like that. Mm-hmm. It's just about understanding that some people are not on the same page as you, and that often And also that some of them no longer qualify to give you advice because
Right.
they really can't relate to where you are. So that if you listen to them and you choose to listen to them, you might not get this most savory thing that might be helpful to you because they don't even know how to advise you anymore. So yeah, it's kind of, but for those of y'all who like looking for your tribe, I feel like there's so many I'm so grateful for. And I was like, I would actually say for Instagram and our community, there's so many practitioners that are on my list that are my now close girlfriends or guy friends. And it's like, if you don't resonate that much with me, then maybe T is for you, or maybe somebody else is for you. It's like so many. And I've also noticed that through those spaces, like on our lives and stuff, that then those people have started to connect with each other. So we really are kind of like growing our family, and I love that for us.
Yeah, I enjoy I enjoy your lives. It's always so much fun, and yeah, the community in the comments section are always fun. It's always good. It's always like, hey, how are you? Hey, you know.
Yeah, so I love that, and that's like, and that's happy because I can go to somebody's page and I'm like, oh, that's just my good homegirl from back in the day, and I'll see somebody else from new times, and they know each other now. I'm like, oh, right, we really are growing. So I love that.
It's so beautiful. And so if someone goes to your website and they're ready to just make that step, that to embark on their spiritual journey, what are some of the products you suggest they start with?
Oh, sure.
So I have some ideas, but I want to hear from you.
I know, it's like, it's so funny because I was talking to my homeboy the other day, and I said, yeah, because I got 100 and something products on there. And he said, you got what? Mm-hmm. And I said, yeah, I didn't know you had 100 something products. I said, yeah, because you're on my website. Okay, so depending on where you are in your journey and what you're wanting to do, that I feel like that's how I would direct you. You want to work on I have a whole bunch of stuff on there. Like, I have a whole chakra set on there. I have a whole zodiac set on there. I have oils for protection. I have oils for self-love and empowerment. I have oils for prosperity and wealth. So it's kind of like, which is really dope, because if I would suggest you go to my website, thehoneyjar.shop, and when you go there, go from a desktop, because if you go from a desktop, you'll be able to see all of these, what do I call it, categories that I just mentioned. And you can kind of click on and see if you need wealth, prosperity, you can click on that, and it'll give you a list of the oils and products that's under that category, and so forth. Like I said, but Rich Rich is very popular. Yeah, people love that. Like, probably just as much. It used to be called Gypsy Pussy, and it's called Good Pussy now. And that's also
one of my favorites.
So people love that. Like, they love those two the most. There's Love More, which I like. Self-love, intention. Then I have intuition oil and armor oil, like a whole bunch of stuff. This really just depends on the person. And if you're not sure, I would definitely maybe suggest booking a reading or a one-on-one session with me. You can do that on my site as well. If you don't have the resources to maybe even purchase that or reading or oil right now, I would say please come to my lives. Those are free. Mm-hmm. I spend a lot of time trying to get to know my community on there and sharing what I know and how I've grown. And then I also offer like very affordable group rituals that some people had to start there. And I don't know when this is gonna post, but I usually do one once a week, or definitely absolutely on the new moon and the full moon. And if you go to my site, you can look under rituals to see what's under there. You'll probably see something like a road opener or a prosperity ritual. Tomorrow we're gonna be doing Rich Witch. It's called Rich Witch and Boss Bitch, and it's for attracting prosperity, confidence, and success in business. And I'm really excited about that one because I went shopping.
Uh-oh.
It's so fun. I went shopping for this ritual already because I kind of have like what it looks like in my mind. And I already spent like $300 on stuff for this ritual. But it's going to be so good.
Yes, I love it.
So that's going to be so fun. That's going to be tomorrow. But like I said, I don't know when this is going to post. But like I do also often like every month or two or so bring back rituals. So I might do a Rich Witch. I might do a Millionaires. A lot of them are named after the oils. And I also do stuff like to keep it fun and exciting for me because I have so many products. Sometimes, like for instance, we talked about the Hot Witch Summer Oil. Those are sold out. I only made a certain amount of those. And I wanted to capture the energy and the essence of this time. And I might do something similar like that later with a different oil. But I like doing those. I like doing those like one-off, exclusive, one-of-a-kind things. Those are really fun to make. Because I feel like we're always changing. And our intentions change. And also, think about that. Also do custom oils. So like a person could actually come on my site and get an oil made just for them that nobody else has, specific to their needs and their likes. I did a whole bunch of them back in 2020. So yeah, there's so many things you can get a part of. I have honey jars, I have shampoo, I have soap, bath salts, and whatever else.
Whatever else your heart desires.
Whatever else the spirit tell me to make, I'm gonna make it. I don't know what it's gonna be. So yeah, so much of stuff. So you can, like I said, if you go on my website, thehoneyjar.shop, you can just look and go under that. And if you get really lost, come to Instagram. At thehoneyjar.us on Instagram and just look at my stories or comment on the reel or something and we could just get together.
Absolutely. And I must say, Honey is so generous. Like there was one point in time you were offering so many discounts. I was just like, man, she's crazy. But you still were making so much more money. And you had the text messaging service.
When I did my first like big sale, that was so crazy. I was having like 100 orders in a week. And that was pretty good. Like it was starting to pick up. When I did my first big sale, that went from 100 in a week to a day. Within the next like 4 days, I had so many orders. I'm still recovering from that. That's why it takes so long to get those products. Yeah, it's just like, so every time I do that, it's so funny because I'm like, okay, so I want to make it more accessible to certain people to get things. And when I do that, people buy everything. And I'm so grateful for that. I'm so grateful for that. I'm like, oh, I've been waiting to try this. And then, So yeah, what I do now, I probably do at least something once a month now, a sale, at least one a month. So sometimes there's secret sales in there. When I say secret sales, you have to be in my text community or in my stories to know about it. And then sometimes the sales is you just go to the website and it just auto populates at the end of the, what I'm trying to say, what do you call it?
The checkout.
So I do have a community number. If I can share it here, this is how you would join my text. They're going to basically you'll text this number and they're like, do you want to join? And then you say yes. Get your name and information in there. And then you'll be a part of, let's say the secret society, but
the secret Honeyjar society. Yeah. Sure.
You'll get the text messages and I'm like, this is what's coming up. This is what's going on. And sometimes it'll be like, like promo text. But other times I'll be like, good morning. How are you? You need some affirmations? Like that. So
No, it's
So that,
amazing.
so that number is 917-708-7187. 917-708-7187. And that's how you get in. And that's a free service. So not, well, I gotta pay for it, but y'all don't have to pay for it. And that's how you get in. And I'll send you sometimes some affirmations or a note, something. You never know what I'm gonna send you. So you should join. They should join.
Right. Surprises. Yeah. I mean, like, and I really want people to understand is like her daughter had like a cast on her foot and she was helping with shipping. Like,
oh my
honey
goodness. No, listen, that was crazy because my baby had broke her foot last March in the middle of busy season. And that was super crazy because it was just Tree and I at the time. And I don't know, we took a break for a little while, but first of all, it was amazing. I was so impressed with her at the doctor, okay? She was so confident. She was so sure of herself. She was so determined that her body was going to heal itself, like her body's supposed to do. And it was like, when you practice and you practice for a lifestyle, it just becomes a part of your everyday. But when something happens that's traumatic and you get to see that practice come forth, especially in your children, like she had her oil, put her little protection oil in there when they had to reset her foot. And she said her affirmations and she wrote her little her intentions. I was like, oh my goodness. I was so impressed. So yeah, and then they wanted to give her surgery. They wanted to break her foot and re-put it together and all this stuff. And she was like, no, I trust my body's ability to heal it. So, and it did. So
beautiful.
We're grateful for that.
Yes, beautiful. And I love that you said lifestyle. How do you maintain your high Honeyjar energy, your high vibing energy, and so much so that people can feel that over the internet?
Oh, I don't know if I maintain it though. Like, no, I be going through it just like everybody else, honestly. Maintain is just using your tools and knowing how to what you know what you need to do to make you feel good. So for me, it's doing what I need to do to make me feel good. If I slack on my spiritual baths, you gonna know. I'm gonna know. Everybody can know. If I slack on sleep, you gonna know. And dance and movement is really important for me. If I don't do that, I feel it. So it's like once you're used to doing your routine, whatever that is, if you don't do a few things, you'll remember. You'll be like, oh, when is the last time oh, no wonder. Have I meditated? Oh gosh, I need to do that. Right? So I try to be most consistent with doing my daily practices, but I don't always do everything. And I allow myself to be okay with that because you know how you can beat yourself up about it. And also allow yourself space to autocorrect, like, okay, let me get myself together. And then sometimes, you know what? It don't even be you because sometimes it's Mercury and micro braids or whatever else is going on in the planet at the time. But when I come to the lives, I say, let me know what I'm supposed to tell these people.
That's a good thing, yeah.
Let me know what they need to hear. Use me as a vessel. I want to make sure that I'm being of service. And it's about me when I get up there and I'm talking to people. It's about me getting over myself, really. It ain't about me at that moment. It's about what Spirit has for me to share. And if my experience, my journey can inspire somebody, or if I could say something in a way that I phrase it to help you get a breakthrough, it makes it worth it. I try to be as obedient as I can be to Spirit because Spirit is so good to me. And I just want to be able to share that with as many people as I possibly can while I'm here on this planet doing this. So I hope that when you do see me and experience me, that you feel love. That's what I want for everybody, and that's definitely what I want for myself.
Yeah, well, it is there. It is there. And so, second to last question.
Okay.
Are we going to be, I'm just going to throw it out there a little bit. Is there a new product possibly coming along the way? I know we got spoiled because we got the hot witch summer, but is there another?
Girl, yeah, you already know what that is. I did an oil like 2 days ago.
Oh my god! Now I'm slacking. Okay, wait a minute.
Okay, so this is what I was going through. See, like, most of the oils either come from something that I was going through or something that somebody requests of me. That's how I have over 100 something products. Mm-hmm. But I was feeling the Mercury Micro Braids or Gatorade or whatever that was. And I was feeling, so I made a fire. So I did a fire. So a couple of days ago, I did a fiery wall of protection ritual. And that is not just about negative influence, but also protection against self-sabotage, like internal, all that stuff. So while I did that ritual, I made the oil to go with it. And I charged the oil under that full moon lunar eclipse that we just had.
Oh boy. Oh, wow.
And it's concentrated. It's like, it's right now in my story, you can see like the ritual. But yeah, so I made that oil the other day, and I just actually put it on the site this morning, actually.
Okay, I'm on your website now. Yeah. Yep, I see it.
I just put it there this morning, and I'm also like, you know how I do sometimes. If you order it, you get a miss with it. Mm-hmm. So it's a fiery wall of protection spray too. So that's what's for now. Now for more products, what I do love is my moon. I have a moon subscription where you get a new moon, full moon every month. It comes with a bath, salt, oil, candle set. Those are great. I love those. And for something new, like the next thing, I don't really know, girl. It's like they gotta tell me.
Right. Yeah, I love this. I work with fire often, and when I meditate, one of the things I do is a fire protection circle. So yeah, this is great. So yeah, after this interview, I'm gonna have to pay a little visit to your website. So oh yes, well, what you do is lovely, and we've covered so much. So any final words that you want to leave us with?
Honestly, yes. Tia, I love you so much. I'm so proud of you. You are glowing and growing, and I just want to see you flourish in everything that you decide to do. Know that I'm in your corner and I'm rooting for you. And that's what I want to say.
Oh, thank you. You're going to make me cry. I'm so teary-eyed right now. Oh, thank you. That means so much. Because, I really want to help people succeed. Like I tell people often, I'm here to help, and they laugh, and I'm saying like, no, but really, I'm here to help.
Right.
And it's like I really, really do care. And when I see people who like they just give up in a way, it does bother me a little bit because I see so much within, and I'm just like, just keep going. So I really appreciate that. Thank you. And I love you too.
Yeah. And as for everybody else, thank you for the opportunity to be on your beautiful platform. And just go to my website, thehoneyjar.shop. And you'll see, and you're on my Instagram is thehoneyjar.us, and you can join my community. And you can be up on all the fun things that we do. And I recently got this new thing on, what do you call that thing? Instagram lets me do subscriptions of content now. You also can subscribe to my Instagram content, private content for like $4.99 a month or something like that.
Nice. Love it. It's a win-win situation. Thank you.
So, thank you.
Yes, I am sending everyone so much love, so many blessings. I'm rooting for you. Be kind to yourself. Until next time. Thank you so much for tuning in, Magical One. Let's keep in touch. Join the VIP email list by going to tiamariejohnson.com. And as always, I'm sending you lots of love, many blessings. I'm rooting for you. And remember to be kind to yourself. Until next time.